What's up, everyone? Welcome to Extreme Bronco Live here on Wednesday night. Thank you for all being here. I see a few people in the comments already, and I want to start off by saying hello and thank you for tuning in already. Mobile Motto, happy recession, everyone. I hear you. Nick, what is going on? Dirk, Connor, John Burnett, hey, neighbors. And the rest of the comments are me. Hey, everyone. Did you see by chance, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a little thing about our 22 Badlands Bronco there. It had to go to the shop today. I'll tell you a little bit about that in just a second. Also, I was going to talk a little bit about, and I say a little bit about, I literally clicked on the ad. I haven't had a chance to upload a picture or really even read through it, but I just want to see what your thoughts are. And if you've heard anything about this, let's see, 2024 Ford Ranger Super Crew with a long bed. They're actually testing one. I guess one was spotted, spy photos, is fordauthority.com. If you want to read the article, it's over there. But I was just checking it out and I thought, man, that's pretty cool. They're just really pushing out the different models, different trim, and different levels of each trim or each model. There was another article too. Is Ford is creating new vehicles at a faster rate than ever before, and with the Bronco, the Maverick, started out with the Mach-E, then the Ford Lightning, and who knows what else is in the Ranger. I mean, they're really doing a job getting the products, getting the new trims out there, right? Getting the new things out there. Hey, what's up? Overlanding for fun, Tim. I'm going to 60. My Bronco came in yesterday. Been waiting 1 year. Congratulations. Wow. That is awesome. Yeah. So 1 year, 11 months. Man. I mean, one more month. You just could have said 2 years, but close enough. Congratulations. I'm going at 60, 4 high, 4 low. Good evening. What is going on? Anthony Young, what is up? Jessica Dunn, hello. How are you? Haven't chatted with you here in a while. I think it's been a while. Yeah, so the 22 Badlands, yesterday I was changing the oil. Now, I'll start off by saying the only vehicles that I changed my oil on are 2 Broncos and my 66 Mustang. I used to do the 91. Of course, I no longer have that anymore. So those, and I'm teaching Gavin, how to do it, right? So he knows and he gets to see it. Plus, I just don't want to take my Bronco and drop it off somewhere, even though, trust me, I'm going to get into a little thing about my dealer here in just a second. It's the travel, because the dealer closest to me is not the one that I deal with. I deal with one like 45 minutes away, 40 minutes away, I should say, with traffic. I mean, no traffic, I can get there in 25. Becky can get there in 5. But so last night I was doing the oil change on the 22 because that's the Bronco we have the most mileage on. I think we're at 9,100 on that one or so, right around there. I did the first oil change at about 2,000 because I'm old school. I like getting that new oil out and getting the replacement in. And overlanding for fun stuff. Gavin needs some practice. He can come change his oil. Well, I'll send him that way. So I got underneath the Bronco, and you can see part of the diff that sticks. Well, it doesn't stick down below, but there's a gap in the bash plate, and then you can see it. And I noticed it looked wet. And immediately I was thinking, oh, no. So I dropped the front bash plate or skid plate. I dropped the skid plate. So you have the bash plate, then you have the first skid plate. And I dropped that to access the oil plug, and there was the red fluid. So, it looks like transmission fluid, but it is diff fluid in the front. And so it was kind of a bummer. And I know our friends over at All Terrain had sort of the same issue there. And so I went ahead and did the oil change, and, all went well there. So I called my dealer this morning, and I'm telling you, you hear horror stories about dealerships. I have, and I'm convinced because I've dealt with a lot of dealers over the years, I have the best service that I've ever had at a dealership. I have where we bought our Broncos. And I say that consistently, even with fleet vehicles years ago. It's nothing to do with the Broncos, just in general, right? It's like what they do. Um, anyway, I called this morning and they said, bring it over. I mean, I'd scurried to get it over there because I had some stuff scheduled. So I got it over there. I got a ride back. And this afternoon, early afternoon, they called me and told me, yep, the front pinion seal is leaking and we've got to order one in. And with the holiday coming up, we're not going to have it done and put back together until mid next week. So they would obviously do it tomorrow, but they can't get the part. So anyway, the part may be in late Friday, but then they're closed. And, there's a scheduling thing. So it'll be mid next week. We have the 4th of July there at first of the week. So no big deal. Drove it back home. It's not like it's leaking bad. It's one of them situations where I caught it really, really early because that's what I do. And the only reason I'm telling you this, I'm not complaining at all. I get it. Stuff like this happens. I totally get it. But I did tell everyone on the channel, if something goes wrong, I'll tell you. I just haven't had any significant issues whatsoever. And this is not even significant yet. Could it be one day? Sure. But now it's a matter of a few hours and I'll get it back. And you'll never know it was ever an issue. But for what it's worth, yeah, that's it. Still runs and drives great, and I love it even more every time we drive it. So not a big deal for me, but just wanted to tell you, I will be doing a video on it, just to kind of show everyone. So maybe if you need to look under yours, you can. But the oil change, like I said, went uneventful, which is a good thing. Analyzed the oil filter, cut it up. When you do that first oil change, it's not uncommon to see a little bit of aluminum, shavings in there. And I say shavings, that sounds horrible, but just tiny, tiny fragments. It's not uncommon. It's actually relatively normal. And in this oil change, there was none present. We cut the filter up, looked, analyzed it, none there. So I'm very happy with that. I would still expect to see a little bit in the second oil change at about 9,000. I've got none there. So super impressed with that. And hey, whatever. So let's get on to the comments. Yeah, Dr. Detroit says small repair, but inconvenient. And there again, because it's not a daily driver, it's not even the inconvenience. Is the dealer that I choose to work with because of their quality of service, and they're just all around good people. It's a little bit of a drive there. But we'll make a day of it. We'll take it over and drop it off and go do something over there. And but not a big deal. Is it significant? No, it's not. If something breaks and leaves you on the trail, would it be? Sure, that would be. But this is just a matter of doing basic maintenance and paying attention to stuff. I mean, it's not like it was dripping on you, but you have to look for it. But definitely caught it early on. And we went over to get it this afternoon. So we drove our 21, took Becky over and dropped her off there. And they did a courtesy inspection on that one. No leaks, no nothing. Seals all the way in, looks good. No noise. There was a common thing too, I think, maybe say a common. I mean, I don't know if it's common or not, but a tiny bit of noise in the front end when this is happening. So they said, they changed the part and we'll be back together. So the 21's in good shape. 21 also has 6,000 miles on it, not 9. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Yep. And I'm going in 60. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad everybody is congratulating you on that's pretty cool. Dr. Troy said pinion seals seem not to be that great at Dana. Yeah, oh, Anthony saying, what's wrong? You can't say Hampton. No, I don't care. No, my dealership it's over in Hampton. And by the way, anyone watching this, if you're tired of all the garbage at dealerships and you just don't like it, and you want to, even if you live in another state and you want to do you wanted to do an internet order to order your vehicle from, obviously a Ford. I will put later in this video, I'll put a link to the dealership in the description because they're just super nice people and they do great stuff. And anyway, I definitely will. But yes, Anthony, it is Hampton. sorry. No particular reason. Most people, if I say Hampton, they're like, "Hey, where? Southeastern Virginia is where I live, but Hampton is just across the creek in like 40 minutes or whatever from me." Um, but yeah, and so, it wasn't like I said, it's not a big deal. So I want to know in the comments if any of you have a Bronco. Have you crawled underneath yours? Have you had any maintenance done? Anybody checked on that? How many miles you have on it? Like I said, it's not a huge issue whatsoever. Engine runs great. I was getting ready to do a 2.7 video, um, and I want to do the second oil change first, get that done. I'll send a sample of that out as well. We are saving for a reason. You'll figure it out later. But for that first oil sample that I did, I'm saving to drop that video, or actually do it. We actually shot a video. I'm redoing it though. And you have to stay tuned. Why is that taking so long to do that? Well, this oil sample, it will come back, and then I'll have a baseline for one, and then compare 10,000 miles or 9,100 to be exact with another one, and just to kind of see what happens in an engine there. Um, the the political answer that I'm trying to get uh, clarified is, if I install a oil catch can, will it in fact void any warranties? I'm trying to get the right answer for that because I do want to install one. However, I would really hate to install one and totally, as we all know, unrelated, but something happened, and then that be the so I'm waiting to make sure I don't void any warranties. Should it? No, in my humble opinion, it shouldn't. It's only an improvement. However, when something's under warranty, first of all, I'll never recommend you do it, whether I get the okay or not. I'm just letting you know that if we do it, here's what we're doing, and why, that type thing. Um, oh, let's see what's happening. Let's see. I'm gone in 60. What did you get? You got a cactus gray Outer Banks. Awesome. That's good. Yep. Dr. Detroit said there are good to great dealerships out there, but if you're bad, yeah. So I'm not want to even say the dealership that's closest to me. It's not like they're bad or anything. It's just when you get the service that you get from the dealer that we've been buying vehicles from for over the years, 40-minute drive is nothing. And taking it for service, yeah, sure, it's not right down the road and you get a shuttle ride home, but trust me, it's worth it. Um, and you get to talk to the mechanic, explain exactly what's going on, what they're doing. It's a level of service that we actually help other companies with on another business angle that we have, is to help companies understand that's how you keep people coming back. Like I said, it shouldn't be rocket science, but apparently it is sometimes. And if you've noticed, I don't have any co-hosts here tonight. Like, I'm out here all by myself, so I need the comments. I haven't done a solo show in a while because, let's see, Gavin, somewhere between golf camp and the beach. He's living his best life. And Becky is at my daughter Alexa's softball. They have a scrimmage tonight. They're going to the state championship at a couple weeks from now. I think it's a couple, 3 weeks. And they're getting ready for that. So they're practicing every day and scrimmage, and just it's some cool stuff going on. So she's over there with her. And so here I am all alone. The cat's around here somewhere. So just don't totally give up on, the cat running across the table here. But I did want to talk about it. And so what I wanted to get into is some modifications. We have a product that was being sent to us. We had a little hiccup in the shipping because of a postal change, route change. But hopefully that part will be here soon. We get to do a review on that. It's exciting. The reason why it's exciting is not because it's just somebody sending me something. It's something that I want to try, right? And I think it's a huge improvement in the Bronco or any vehicle that doesn't have it. There's enough of a tease, right? And so I can't wait to do that review. And then when it's over with, I can't wait to still have this product on one of our Broncos, and we still have to decide. Becky and I are kind of up in the air about which one. So you'll see what that is. And so that's exciting stuff. And we have a little branding thing happening. Branding, not Brandon, but branding thing going on, and waiting on some of that. And I can't wait. That's going to be cool. It's just going to open up this channel to a whole lot of really cool stuff. and I hope you're okay with it. But there will be more Mustang content coming as well. Of course, Bronco all the time, every week. Still the live Bronco show every Wednesday night, and who knows, maybe we'll mix in something else. But right now, just really cool stuff. Talk about all times of vehicles and a lot of engine stuff, I hope. Terrence Mooney, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, let's go to some of the comments here. See what we got going on. Jessica Dunn, I finally got a VIN in an email. Congratulations. Now, now the real wait, right? Now the real wait. But yeah, it's going to go quick. Let's see. Tim, talk about frustrating. Been sitting on Ice Mountain since 2/1. Got a built email on 6/16. My dealer across the street from Map. Still no Bronco. Just added recall on the windshield. Made no sale. No, wow. Just added a recall on the windshield. Huh. Yeah, I don't I haven't heard about that one. Of course, I have been overwhelmed with work, and so if you've noticed, I haven't put a lot of videos up because just we're having to deal with the realities in our business right now with everything. Let's see, 4 high, 4 low. Duane, is the new pinion seal going to be an exact replacement or new improved pinion seal? What causes it? Okay, so good question, good question, good question. I don't know. I will find out next week. So they've ordered the replacement part. Now, whether it's been an upgrade or a change or whether it was a process from install. I mean, I've heard cases where they're not pressed in all the way. We'll know when it's pulled apart and put back together. The fluid was just ever so slightly low. Yeah, I mean, they barely had to add any, so it just started, right? It's not been a big deal. But as far as why and the replay, I have no idea. I would think that because I know I know David had the issue, and I think some other people had the issue as well. Um, yeah, we'll see. If it's the exact part, then that is only okay for long term if it was because the first part wasn't pressed in all the way or something, right? So we'll see. And but when we talk to them next week when it's actually done, I'll let you know. I don't know. Well, it won't be on next Wednesday show because I think they're going to do it Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, we'll do a video on that, but yeah, we're in good hands, and I can't wait for them to get it going. And if you think about it, we have two Broncos, so we have two chances of something showing up, right? Other than the top making that squeaking noise, we really, I mean, we've been blessed. I mean, no issues whatsoever on a completely new vehicle created, produced, and put out to market in a commodities constraint environment, labor shortage. I mean, you mix it all up. I'm telling you, I'm not just a fanboy or anything. I'm just telling you, I get it. And if this is the worst thing that happens, I'm good to go. So anyway, I hope the fact that I don't lose my religion is satisfying to some, that it's not because if I had an engine issue, I would probably take a week off from live streaming and go from there. But I don't expect to have that problem whatsoever. Super impressed with the engine, transmission. The diffs, you kind of take them for granted. You ride around, whether you're in four-wheel drive or not, using them or not. But even still, when you're driving, you take that stuff for granted. And anyway, let's see. I'm going and here we go. Yeah, let's see here. The new recall in the windshield adhesion on the Bronco has it. Okay. Yeah, there was a recall years ago where the adhesive they were putting around a windshield wasn't continuous or something, and there was a fear of a leak or something, so they had to come back and redo that. I remember that in a vehicle. I don't know if that's the same thing here or not. Let's see. Bruge on Ice Mountain Dirt, 15 miles from the plant. Yeah. Overlander for fun. Let's go branding. Branding. So maybe we'll see more of this. Who knows? I don't know. But we're doing some stuff here on, with the book thing somewhere else. But anyway, just stay tuned. Maybe another week or so, something like that. 27 of you watching right now, I do appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed to us, I would greatly appreciate that. We're going to be doing some fun stuff, so you'll definitely want to keep up for that. But yeah, Tim, the branding is something that we're going to be doing quite a bit of here. Let's see. RetNav 92 had an airbag recall fixed on my 2021 Big Ben and recently noticed the rear child locks may not be working correctly. Yes, that was an issue on some as well. Yep, that was one as well. Let's see here. G Willikers. Okay, G Willikers, I think that was what's my build date versus Dave's. Well, I can't remember when his build date was. I know we took delivery in the end of January, and I think our build date, I want to say, was January 3rd or 4th, right in there. I so many dates in my head, but it was the first week of January, and we got our Bronco really quick. I mean, it was there's a video here when we took delivery of it, and we took delivery of it on a Friday, and we got a ton of snow. And Saturday woke up to it's sitting outside and 6 inches of snow on it. But it was first week, so it's a 22, and that's something I was going to mention earlier. So the 21 to 22, in my humble opinion, it's the same vehicle, right? There was some running changes. The climate control, where the temperatures displayed on the knob, the controller, and the touchscreen in a 21, whereas in a 22, it's only on the touchscreen or the infotainment screen. The other thing was the 22 has a rear added sway bar in certain model. I think 4-door Sasquatch and certain selection of 2 doors, but that and addition of a couple colors, that is really the only difference in a 22 and a 21, or 21 to 22. So essentially it's the same thing. Now I feel like 23 will be some changes, right? More than just colors. I think probably some things that they would maybe fix as they go. They're going to take care of it. I would expect to see some of that, but pretty much between a 21 and 22. So I was looking at my 21 thinking, well, could I have the issue there or not? I don't think all of them have it. It's just the way it works out. So good question on the build date. I'll definitely have to follow up with him on that. That is a good thing there. Let's see. Brewjama build date was 118, chip installed 325, delivered 615. Well, I'm glad it was delivered finally. Congratulations. I know this is kind of like trivial information, but I just see it seems like a lot more people, and I've said this over maybe the last 2 or 3 streams. It just seems that consistently you're seeing a lot more people mention that the Bronco that was sitting waiting on a chip has gotten the chips installed into modules, and now they're being delivered. They're either en route or they've received the Bronco, took delivery, whatever the case may be. So I am seeing a lot of that. And I'll tell you, I think something is freed up there. I don't have any proof of it. I don't have a story to lean on or anything. It's just a feeling that I get. And I'd said it early on. I think the end of last year, I said, I think that maybe mid-year, you're going to see a lot of these units pushed out. So pretty exciting. Update on the Bronco Raptor. I did check with my dealer yesterday. Funny thing, I called him yesterday to check on this before I knew I had the problem with 22. And no word, it hasn't been previewed or a build date. So that's the update. The update is there's no update. But that is not an issue right now. Honestly, the later, the better on that. That would be cool. Let's see. Gregory Watts, have you made any forescan changes? I have not. So I haven't wanted to dive into that part of it yet. I'm just now starting to do the bolt-on stuff. What I wanted to do was be able to review and test my Broncos before we start doing a lot of stuff to it, whether it be a software thing or or hardware, something you bolt on, change bumpers or whatever. I have no desire to do a lift right now. Now, is a lift in the future one of them? Who knows? We'll see. But right now, it's just sort of the small stuff, right? The lighting, the little things that you can do there. I do want to start. I want to install an oil catch can. So I'm waiting to, like I said, try to get some guidance on that because, like I said, I know if it was out of warranty, it'd be on there by now. I just don't want to void my warranty. That's all. Once I get that answer, hopefully we can do that. So I want to do stuff like that. Oil filters, when you're doing an oil change, in my humble opinion, I highly recommend the Motorcraft filter. I think you can get some aftermarket ones, but there's details in there you need to know. Not everyone can make that exact filter for licensing reasons or whatever. So my humble opinion, I'll always go back to Ford for that. Air filters are very good as well. They're not too restrictive. I don't know the flow numbers on them. I know they catch some pretty small microns. I forget what that number is. I think we might do a video on that one day. Pretty cool. But also, what else is out there? What other type of air filters out there? So these small changes there again, nothing huge. Because my goal was to review the Bronco before it was modified, so we can say this is how it's been for the first 10,000 miles or 20,000 miles, and then you can start to make these changes. So, one of the biggest changes, it's not even a big change, but when the time comes, we will be changing the type of tire that we have. And, we'll see what we go with there. I like the KO2s, probably what we'll end up with, but we'll look around. We'll see, what's available at that time. Still have plenty of tread left. So that's not in the cards right now. And I get it. They sling rocks. We're doing well on that, at least with the paint. And if you've seen the pictures of my 21, my Area 51 four door, we have the sort of our Bronco name down the side, and it's a pretty thick, like well, I say pretty thick. It's thick enough, 2.5 mil, and there's a couple different layers on part of it where the orange and the black meet. That's really helping with the rock chips as well. So we really haven't had that many issues. But to get back to answer your question, I haven't done the Ford scan modifications at all. Um, Sort of unlocking, that was it sport mode or yeah. We haven't done any of that. Our wheeling in our area is sand, mostly sand, and that's low speed. Everywhere we go, that has a strict speed limit. So I can't let it rip like you see some of these people doing, which if you're out there in the dunes somewhere and you have no speed limit, well, good on you. Congratulations. Have fun. I love watching the videos. But for us, if you did that here, you would spend the weekend in the old slammer. Um, the next type of terrain would be, muddy trails and small rocks and a combination of rock and mud up in the mountains in Shenandoah. So that will be on the list for us to do, but just not right away, you know. Oh, let's see. Let's get back to some of the comment. I appreciate the comments and everybody tuning in, by the way. Casey Jones, 2.37 speed manual, Big Ben, just had the transmission replaced at 3,000. Wow. I'm just curious what the symptoms were. What was the reason, other than it didn't work? I mean, something went wrong, but let's see. Mobile model current delivery weight is about 21 days on average. Remaining forescan note, we just covered that. My Badlands was built Friday and Saturday night. Good deal, man. That's gonna be awesome when you get it. I tell you what, we have a busy weekend planned, and some of that's going to be with the Bronco. We may switch our plans up now because we were going to take both Broncos to the beach and Outer Banks. So we may go down there just one day and then do something else on the fourth locally. That's in the works right now. So it'll be film worthy too, as long as there's no music going. I don't have to do B-roll stuff. Let's see. Yeah. My build date was 118, chip install 325, deliver 60. I think we already talked about that. Yet had 20. Yeah. Yeah, and I think is it Brew John or Bro John? Sorry, I don't know. I've seen that before. I've heard that quite a bit, and I'm sorry that that happened, but I've seen where actually people have gone in and placed new orders and received or either the same or real close to the same as someone else that's been waiting and they've gotten it right away. I have no idea. Other than I will tell you, and I don't know if this matters when it's on dirt mountain and waiting on its ships, but in general, the ordering versus getting built and picked is sometimes a dealer allocation thing. Now, if it's already been built and you're waiting on a chip, I have no idea. I don't think dealer allocation has anything to do with that. But who knows? I don't work there. I could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Nick said, I've got the KO2s on mine. So, Nick, you like them? Do they still throw a lot of rocks? I mean, the gap between the treads, pretty wide. So, if you're throwing a rock there, it's going to be a little chunky one, I'm sure. Um, oh, Flo said Toyos. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to do my research. And what I don't like doing what everyone else is doing. However, if everyone's doing something because it's truly better, then that's what I'm after. I don't want to, necessarily do, like I said, the popular thing. I want to do the best thing. And so we'll see what it comes out to be. Iconic Bronco, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Can the Bronco Raptor brace on the back be removed? Easily will allow a fridge and stuff to fit back there. Good question. I don't know. I would imagine it bolts into place. But there again, when you start unbolting stuff like that, they put it there for a reason. If you're going to drive it on the street, will it matter? Well, I mean, I know why it's there. The torsional rigidity, right? A little more torque, but some of the, especially if you're actually going to use the jounce bumpers and you're going airborne with it, really. But a lot of the rock crawling and stuff, they figured they need to tighten it up a little bit. But if you're not doing that, will it unbolt? I would imagine it would, but that's a good question. I will let you know one of these days. So Nick KO2 BFG 3315s with the US mags. Sharp. I can't wait to see a picture of your Bronco, by the way. Can't you get it done, start enjoying it on the road, right? I'm a dealer, the gap in. Yep. Okay, gotcha. So, some of the build dates and stuff, that whole formula, I don't get it. It's like the Raptor build date. We don't have it yet, and I'm not even worried about it because we were literally a last day conversion, or to actually turn into an order on the last possible day. There again, I'm in no hurry. So if we get an email saying, "Ups, it's going to be a 23 now," I'm good with that. Bring it in, the end of this year, first of next year. I'm good with that. So, but yeah, I have no idea how that works. I just, first come, first serve type thing is cool, but then it's commodities and what they have and all that good stuff. And going from there. Andrea, welcome. And thank you for that super chat. Folks, if you don't know, the super chats go a long way for our channel, especially when we're doing some renovation to it, to our channel. We definitely need it. So, Andrea, thank you very much. It was nice chatting with you earlier today, by the way. Also, considering an oil catch can. Yeah, the premise behind the catch can, I think certain engines like the Shelby, if I'm not mistaken, GT500, I think still has them. I know at one point the GT350 did. But any boosted or supercharged engine, where you have a lot of compression, you'll have a lot of cylinder pressure, you're going to get blow by, and where you have blow by, that pressure goes somewhere, and that goes through the PCV system, and obviously that vapor, and to be able to catch the vapor, a little bit of moisture in there, a little bit of acid, is a byproduct of combustion. Carbon is one, but the oil vapor, it's just nice, I think, when you look in one of those and see it there, knowing that it didn't go back into the intake and coat the valves. Now the 2.7, like I said, does have the port injection along with direct injection, so they've done wonders with that. But if it will not void my warranty, then we will be putting one on. However, I'm still waiting on that answer. Like I've said like 3 times tonight. I know I've said it a lot, but I'm saying it to reiterate that that's the only reason I haven't done it. It's not that, will I think it'll work or not. I just don't want to end up in that, that type of situation. Nick, but Andrea, thank you again for that super chat. We greatly appreciate you. And if you're watching now, if you just tuned in, hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, we have some cool stuff. I am working on the video about the pinion seal leaking, and who knows, maybe I'll upload it tonight, maybe tomorrow. We're going to be wrapping this up in about 15 minutes. So hang in there, hang in there. We'll talk about some cool stuff because we do have some family stuff to take care of later tonight with the softball thing going on. So either late today or tomorrow, I'll put the video out there saying, hey, I'm just in the garage doing an oil change and beep, a little issue. No big deal. Let's see. Christopher, I put on 17x9 plus 20 offset fuel beast rims with 35 by 12 and a half Nitto Trail grappler tires, and it looks good on the 2-door. No lifts, about 5-inch gap from the top of the tire to the fender, and about 6 on the inner. Well, that's good information. Thanks for that. So that kind of helps with considering, what tire. I mean, what could I do? And I mean, you've got. It looks like good clearance there, and the 5-inch gap. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but if you were out west and bouncing around, would it hit? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the travel, but 99% of the time, that's more than enough. There again, depends on your driving, and in my humble, it would be enough for me. Put it that way. See, in Northern Virginia, all shipped by convoy. Ford uses third party. Yeah. So Brew John, is that, and first of all, am I saying your name right? Does yours come in through Crew, Virginia, where they're offloaded and then they get sent over to Petersburg to a holding lot and then delivered to the dealers, or is yours coming out somewhere else? Because I know here the train is from Map to Crew. A lot of the Mid-Atlantic units are unloaded there. It was an interesting thing to be able to watch this, by the way, on some rail cam live. They don't have a cam there because it's a private yard, but they have it, say, in Roanoke. So we were actually able to track the train coming into Roanoke. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Tim, when I get my non-Sasquatch Outer Banks, when I get my, my screen's bouncing around here. That's why it's hard to read some of these. When I get my non-Sasquatch Outer Bank, want to switch out the tires, no lift in any opinion. Think of 275, 70, 18s. Keep crash bars if possible. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of videos. I think if you search hard enough where somebody's done just about every combination of tire with Sasquatch, non-Sasquatch, and, whether they've had to do the crash bars, take them off, or if they can you want to leave yours on, that's definitely an option, I think. But you should probably be pretty good. Okay, no, straight from the factory. Gotcha. So it's all convoy, I guess. 4 high, 4 low. Duane, I wonder if the dealership will let you keep the failed pinion seal for show and tell. That's a good question, by the way. I will ask. Put it on my key ring, right? No, yeah, if they will, that would be cool. But okay, use Brew Johnson, use PA transfer. Okay, that sounds good. Overlanding for fun, crash bars are overrated. Yeah, I think with the Sasquatch, you don't get them, right? And so it's one thing I don't have to consider, but I couldn't imagine keeping them if I had them, but that's just on mine. I know they put them on there for some reason. So, gotta go. You gotta go with what they recommend. Thoughts on shock collar lift versus strut mount spacer lift? Well, I don't know. I wish I could answer your question. I am not, I don't have knowledge in that area enough to recommend something. It is, I mean, based on your question, I'll look into it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone else could comment on that that has experience in that because I really don't know. But G Willikers, thanks for the question, and that's definitely something that um, yeah, that's definitely something I do not know about. But I will research it. That's a very good question. Yeah, my trucks come from Petersburg. Yep. So I know the lot well. It's on Route 460. We go by it all the time and can't help to notice everything sitting there. Um, if you don't like walking, sure. Yeah. Crash bars keeps the tires from intruding into the footwell. So yeah, mobile. That's they put them there for for that reason to I guess give that area a little more structure and to help keep that tire from if you ever in the right accident, going from there. And that's why I say I never recommend someone taking something like that off. Like if you do it, that's one thing, but you know, I know with my Badlands Sasquatch, they're not on there from the factory. So um Nick, let's see. I still got to install the front axle, rebuilt the rear brakes, and put in the windshield. That's a good long couple weekends, and you're ready to roll. So, um, all right. Mobile's answered G Williker's question. I think it says perch or collar lift reduces the free length of the shock strut and can be installed with a spring compressor. Yeah, good deal. I'm no rock crawler. Uh, yeah, Christopher, neither am I. Like I said, someone else's Bronco off roadie or something like that is really fun, but I don't really. Would I do it? I guess I would if I was there, or if I go somewhere with we have some small rocks. But it's like Moab is cool, and I want to go and say I've been and all that, but I'd rather ride. I'd rather take someone else's Bronco or ride with someone else in theirs. But yeah, we're more just sort of laid back kind of, but who knows? The more I do it, the more I'll get the fever for it and the more I'll want to do, I'm sure. So our biggest thing is I want to hit a lot of speed. We just don't have anywhere around here with that dirt track or that sand to be able to hit the speed. So I do want to go some locations where we can let it rip in the dunes. Um, somewhere, but that's just not the Outer Banks because there is a strict speed limit there. So if you ever go on the beach there, do the speed limit. Let me tell you, they don't joke. Uh, what I have used on my last truck, I'm reading John Burnett's comment here. What I've used on my last truck, I used Icon Dynamics 3 and half coilover lift. That was, man, I need new glasses, y'all. Lift that's Let me start over. What I have used on my last truck, I use Icon Dynamics 3.5 coilover lift. That's what I will do with my Bronco when I get it. Sorry about that. I can barely read. I have this light right here that's giving me all this cool light, but man, it puts a heck of a glare on the screen here. I can read, I promise. Nick said the KO2 is probably a little bit of throw a little bit, I guess, right? But as you know, the Goodyears. Now, I will tell you something. The territories, the Goodyear territories, they get the grief with the rocks, and I get that because they do throw them. But in the rain, I don't know if they're rated for it or not, but we were in some pretty heavy rain on the interstate. No hydroplaning, not even. You couldn't feel the tension in the wheel change at all. I mean, they were stuck to the asphalt. And in the sand, they do great. In the snow, they do great. So overall, and I know the rating on the tire is not maybe for that really, really cold temperature, but from where we're at in southeastern Virginia, with the occasional snow that you get, we've had really good luck with it. So that's been my experience. I'm not saying, you know, everyone's experience will be the same, but overall, I like the tires. I just the rocks flying around is something I wish I could alleviate a little bit. Blueford, hello, Def Leppard, Poison, Motley Crue, and Joan Jett in Nashville tomorrow evening. Well, you see what I have on here, my Def Leppard shirt. Although Gavin and I wanted to hit Charlotte, but we just couldn't pull it off. I think that was Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday of this week, I think it was. We did consider Nashville, but it's just with the weekend coming up, softball. Uh, yeah, there's just no way I could get out of town. So Overland front Bronco Wild Outdoors. You mean the Goodyear Wranglers? Oh yeah. Well, we don't say Wranglers on the Bronco, Tim. So yeah, they're actually overall in our area, the terrain that we're on, we've like I said, we've had good luck with them. I just told you the whole story there. So I know some people like them and some don't, but let's see. It was the grinding noise the dealer tore apart. Casey Jones. Sorry, I might have missed the first part of that. Yeah, but yeah, Blueford, if you get to go to a concert, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool. Iconic Bronco picked up an F-150 trimmer and it came with General Grappler ATs. Seemed like a good tire, so a little louder than the BFGs. Yeah, so I haven't seen the tread pattern on them, but I know the BFGs have they're well, from what I heard, they're quieter than the territories. I don't know if you can elaborate on that, but I've talked to two different people that said it was a lot quieter. So, and both of the people had soft tops. That was part of it too, as well. Let's see, John Burdett. I use Falcon Wild Peak ATs. That's something else to look into, and I appreciate everyone giving me the different types and selections out there because I will dive deep into the tires, the different ones when we're ready or right before we're ready. Because who knows what'll come out between now and then if anything significant. I mean, tire technology changes, but it's not like it's overnight. Um, but I do appreciate the ideas and the comments and things like that. So let's see. Cooper Discovery XLT all terrain tires are awesome, quiet, and perform great on and off road. I'm going in 60. Thank you very much for that. Um, Casey Jones. Oh, sorry, Casey. Yeah, like I said, I don't have my co-host here helping me with the comments, but I do remember the transmission, 7-speed manual transmission. Grinding noise, the dealer tore it apart, but couldn't find anything wrong for it. Had to put, yeah, yeah. That's who knows. I haven't heard anything about the manuals being. I mean, I remember the 10R60 people being up in arms about that transmission, and I'm sure someone along the ways had an issue because when you have so many built, you're going to have a tiny failure rate in anything. I mean, we were joking last week, peanut butter for Pete's sakes has a failure rate, right? So surely a transmission will, but I haven't heard of anybody really having any significant 10R60 issues. I've always liked the transmission. Some people just hate it. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of it's maybe if you had one bad experience and you hate them all, but for me, I've never had an issue. The manual though is that's the first one I've heard of. Now I saw something they showed a picture in one of the Facebook groups or whatever where a clutch was burned up and they said it had like 15, 20 miles or something ridiculous on it. I, I just don't see how. I mean, that's someone, riding the clutch at, 5,000 RPMs for 50 miles or maybe not even maybe 10 miles or something like that. I just, it was crazy. So, but I haven't heard any more about it. So who knows? But yeah, on the transmission, sorry about that. Let's see. You can pair of tires once you get, yeah, iconic Bronco. Yeah. Iconic. I almost said iconic Raptor. So iconic Bronco. Yeah, I can. When you get the Raptor, we can really tell. Funny thing is on the reviews. I don't know if you've seen all the reviews different channels that had the luxury of doing the press release or the press week with the Bronco and driving it around and everything, the Raptor. A lot of you were talking about how squishy it feels, and sounds like a goofy thing, squishy, but I mean, that's what they're saying. That's the word used, or soft. On the interstate, a little bit of moving around, you hit the brakes hard, the front goes down and comes back up. But all those are traits of that suspension with a lot of travel or the ability for the travel. Whether the computer gives it to you all or not depends on your terrain. But it's all the characteristics of a suspension that is made for off-road, high speed, bouncing around. And so I'm okay with that. I there again, I'm not expecting it to drive like the Badlands Sasquatch. I'm definitely not expecting it to drive like a Range Rover. So, or my F-250 or anything else, because it is truly, I mean, it's a bad analogy and I don't mean it bad. I mean it in the best way possible. It's like a giant four-wheeler, um, like, ATV or whatever. It's just, it's made for that extreme off-roading. So, um, let's see. Yeah. So I'm looking the getting back to the tires, we'll be able to do that comparison. That's right. We'll have, two types of tires in, but kind of hard to compare the Raptor with the Badlands because all the other changes. Um, and we'll see for our terrain around here, it might not be the perfect vehicle for us because, like I said, there's nowhere around here I can hit high speeds. Um, we'll see, but we may get it and drive it down the road. And it's just so cool that that by itself, is enough reason to keep it. But I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I can't wait to get it and drive it and take it off road and do its thing and go from there. Let's see, a standard TH350 GM. Yeah. So I know that the 10R60 was sort of that, what do you want to call it? A partnership in design with GM that they did both versions. So if that is their version, that, you tell me if I'm wrong, but the TH350, because I don't know their numbers, but if that's the equivalent, if it only stand 450 horsepower, then yeah, that would make sense, right? And a lot of people said, they were thinking, why not the 10R80 in the Bronco Raptor? You know, I can't tell you. I have no idea why, but I mean, I see more. I think overall, more people that would prefer the 10R60 over the 10R80, at least in maybe not that heavy duty truck or something, right? But in something like a Bronco, for example. I think a lot of people are. Let's see, turbo Hydromac 350 in the 070. Okay, yeah, I got you. I don't know. Who made the torque flight? Was that Chrysler or GM? I remember the old transmission, some of the turbo 350s, stuff like that. But um, see, do you have? So Keith said, "Do you have any new updates on the Bronco back orders?" I do not. I mean, I think there hasn't been a lot of press about it. I will say, and I said it earlier in the show, that I really don't have any proof of it. I don't have an article to lean on or any inside source, but I can tell you, I'm seeing a lot of people taking delivery of their Bronco that was built and put on Dirt Mountain, for example, or Ice Mountain, or whenever it was placed in the holding line. I'm seeing a lot of people take delivery on, which is a good thing, right? And I mean, I think something has freed up at least a little, and but I don't know about anything else. I, you know, I you always hear hitches, right? And I don't know if it's the hitch, maybe the wiring harness, but anyway, you hear toe pack in general. Toe pack is an issue. Um, I haven't heard a lot about the 2.7. I do know that the MIC is doing better, but whether are they keeping up with production? I haven't heard any updates on that. It's kind of been quiet. So to answer your question, I'm sorry I can't give you an answer other than I'm just seeing a lot of people that make the same comment. Their Bronco that was built months ago is being delivered, just delivered. They just took delivery of it. So they're producing them, right? I just don't know on the rate. Okay, you guys answer my question on that Chrysler transmission. And Keith, going on 1 year next month. Yeah, so and that's from the order date, I'm assuming. Yeah, so it would be order date. I waited 9 months for the 21 and 12 months for the 22. So, but yeah, Keith, keep an eye on the channel. And there is a couple stories that I was trying to put together for next week, and one of them is on commodities and chips and things like that. And if I can get enough I just don't want to do a video to do it. So if I can get enough information to make a coherent video out of it, I'm going to do that to kind of give some guidance there, and maybe inadvertently in researching that, I can find that out for you. But I just know if you look at the social media sites, and I got rid of another one on Facebook. I won't mention their name. I don't want to give them any attention, but um, we're only, I think we're on 2 groups now. Uh, uh, Bronco 6G and Bronco Roundtable, which I haven't been on there in a little while, but I know it's been a cool channel, good group, Facebook group. Not a lot of that going on there. A lot of it anyway. Let's see. I'm going in 60. Has anyone see the Baja Kits pre-runner long suspension travel for the Broncos? Is pretty pricey, but very worth it. I have not. Maybe that's something we'll look into to see what is out there and what the pricey is. Like, is it 10 grand pricey or 20 grand pricey? Because, a lot of people are making the comparison that if you want a little bit better suspension and maybe you want the features of Baja, for the turbo, I guess the anti-lag or whatever, that maybe a Wild Track with the 3.0 suspension is your ticket, right? Because now that trim. But if you want full on, not just that, but the 3.0 and the different looking body as well. I mean, obviously it's different, the extra bracing, the different seats. If you want the name too, then is the 20 grand worth it for the Bronco Raptor or the Raptor? I think it is for the novelty of it, right? But truly, it's built to go high speed off road. And when you look at all the cool tech in there, someone said it last week. It was hard to, and I forget who said this, hard to duplicate the components to make. That may have been on Dave's show. I think it was. Someone said it last week, wherever I heard it. It wasn't me. I'm not going to take credit for it. But someone said it would be hard to duplicate the suspension parts and pieces and other upgrades for the Bronco Raptor into a regular, the base Broncos now. And I guess it would be kind of hard. So, okay, starting at 4,600, I'm going in 60 cents, starting at 4,600, and that's without shock. So yeah, I mean, that is pricey. However, depends on the performance, right? It may be worth it. So I don't know. Might be something to do there. Oh, by the way, have you seen anyone that has rebuilt? I mean, and I know this sounds crazy. Why would they do it? It's under warranty. But have you seen anyone pull an engine and rebuild or do any major modifications? Why would you rebuild a new engine? But a lot of times people will pull an engine, they'll do, cylinder head intake work and put it back in, or they'll do it in the vehicle. Sometimes it depends on the vehicle, whether it's easier to pull the engine or do it in place, right? But have you seen anybody do any of that to a Bronco yet? A 2.3 or a 2.7? I haven't seen that. I've just seen sort of suspension, bolt-on stuff, obviously body panels, whether they're fiberglass or something custom. But I was thinking the other day, I haven't seen anyone really go kind of full on, mod on the engines at all. So it's going to be pretty interesting. See, Andrea said you would also have to change the structure of the frame. You're absolutely right. So Andrea has a good point. The shock towers are different. The bracing, the jounce pumpers, the bracing inside the frame that you can't see. If you've ever seen, Ford has the roll-in chassis for the Bronco Raptor. The parts that are in blue are new for that. Yellow have been redone. I think the control arms are completely redone. The hitch. The hitch is new. It's rated to tow 4,500 pounds. And part of that is because they've spread the connection from just the rear of the frame into the first cross member. So there's sort of these 2 braces that go from the hitch to one of the cross braces in the frame. So Andrea, good point. It does, it changes part of that you just can't get. at least mentally knowing that when you're bouncing around, you are you have a little bit more happening on the frame. It's keeping you there. Also, between the shocks and the jounce bumpers to keeping this thing from bottoming out, and just because that's where a lot of garbage happens, when just you're the weight of the vehicle comes down on us and compresses everything. And of course, that's not good for the driver. So the Fox suspension is going to help cushion that as well. Uh, yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll have to go hop in curbs or something, see how it works. Let's see. The gauges really, the gauges really need to have an upgrade. Yeah, and that digital um, cluster in the Bronco Raptor is really cool looking. I mean, it is. It, I can see that maybe, and I know there's got to be something to separate the trims, but I can really see that, if not being all over the other models in a few years, I see it being an option to be able to do that. But right now, you've just got to get the initial, you got to get the initial orders out. You got to, you got to go that route. So, but I definitely agree with that. All right, let's go back to some of the comments here. Sorry I couldn't answer your question, Keith, but I will definitely go from there. But anyway, I was gonna mention, yeah, we have some Mustang cool stuff coming up here. We're actually getting rid of the mothballs on my '66 Mustang. We're gonna clean it out and do a little full on detail to it and play around with it one more summer with the current drivetrain, engine transmission, and then we're going to start looking at doing something different next year with a crate engine. So buy something from there. At the same time, modify our Broncos just enough to make them uniquely ours, but not get too far off of, like I said, I'm getting to the age now where I enjoy not working on stuff that I have to drive. So like the old Mustang's one thing. If I don't work on it for a year, it's just wasted a year. But like if something happens to something that you drive more often, you feel the pressure of like, I don't want it to break. Let's see. Mobile said the worst part about the Bronco interior are the ugly retro digital gauges. Tack looking at you. um, and the lack of color options in every trim. Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people lately really say, there again, for me, I get it, being able to change the colors of it, the digital, the placement and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. Could you do something different? But I actually, I don't mind ours at all. I think Tim with Overlanding for Fun had a really good point. If you have in the right light, you have the top, if you have a hard top and your top's off, or you have a soft top and it's down, you get that glare on that instrument cluster. You really like that gauge for the speed because you can see that, whereas you almost wash out some of the visual and the other stuff. Now, I do like the features, whether it be the gauges, the digital cluster, where you go through off road and you go through all your settings. You've got gauges, temperatures, tire pressure, what mode you're in. There's several different things there, and I've gotten really used to it, so I'm good with it. But I understand your point. There's always room for, and I think that's the good news with any new vehicle like this, new trim, that the sky is the limit. Once you get the initial orders done, and now people want to replace their couple-year-old Bronco with a new one with the latest features. That's where you're going to start to see the small upgrades, because that's what dealers have done, or auto manufacturers have done for years. Henry Ford liked the same thing, the same color, because it worked. But as selection started, that's been a thing in the automotive world ever since. And so I think that you really don't have to do that to the Bronco yet, because they're still trying to build the initial orders, or the orders that are coming in for what people like now. Maybe give it another year or two, and then you start to see those subtle changes, maybe options in different seats or different clusters. Who knows? Maybe another, I don't see the engine combination changing, but is there a Bronco R in the future? I don't know. If there is, it'll be a very select few. It'll be built at a custom shop, which means it could only be a few, and it'll be pricey. So that's really, I don't know. We'll see. So hybrid, EV version, sure. At some point, that's coming, in my humble opinion. But I don't know. But I do think that once you get sort of caught up and you get the backlog worked through, I think that you start to see the small things improve to keep it new, fresh, updated. More colors, maybe rotate the colors in. You're always adding a color, you're taking a color away. I would love to see the expansion of colors, but I'm sure it's a manufacturing issue. But it would be, definitely be cool. Oh, let's see. The gauge package is one thing that I would change in a Bronco. Hard to adjust over time, I guess, overgrown. Yeah, and like to me, it's just a joy to drive. I like driving. I like the Bronco so much that having to take it to the dealer today for a small issue is absolutely of no concern to me. And I know that might sound just like God, he's just eat up with it, but it, I'm serious. If it was my only vehicle, that'd be a little bit more stress in there, right? I get that, but it's an easy fix, it's a quick fix, and when your dealership is so good that when you have an issue, you don't care, it's just cool to be in that environment. So I'll tell you that. Let's see, mobile Multimatic builds with the last two Ford GTs. Lola built the original GT40s. Yeah, I see that, right? That I say that custom shop, and what I mean by that is contracted or something like that. But and the Ford GTs are just I want one, uh, but I gotta sell a few hundred more houses. Oh, let's see. IP and stack always in the dark. Yeah. Sorry, just going back through some of the comments here. But look, um, any parting comments, anything that we want to talk about before I get out of here, because it is 9:40. At 9:30 I was supposed to be heading out. I have to run back over to the softball field. But anything you want to talk about really quick? Any videos that you want to see? Any content? Watch out, by the way, for the video about the pinion seal leak. I mean, I've told you kind of what you'll see in it, but if you want to see a little video of underneath, there's not a lot of detail, because when you're shooting a video underneath a vehicle and everything is about the same color, you have to really look for the detail, and the detail is the sheen or the shine. But there's a couple places where you can see the red fluid there, and so that's how you know. They wiped everything down. We drove it home. I looked the best that I could see with the skid plate still in place, and there was no leaking then. So it's a tiny little thing. So, but we're just going to err on the side of caution and not drive it to the Outer Banks and go wheeling with it, and just let it hang out here until next week. And then we'll be back on the road. So, oh, let's see here. Let's see. We have, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to 60. We have an '04. We have 405, '06 Ford GTs for sale at work. The story behind how close I was to buying one is really sickening. I mean, so at the dealership we deal with now, it was a different name, though, same group, um, or same people, most of the same people there. So there was let's see, it was a red and white one. I think it was red and white that was sitting there. The person backed out in 2000. I want to say it was 5 or 6. I think it was 2005. You could get it for $141,000. Now, I mean, that was like still, it's a lot of money even today for a vehicle, but it's nothing for a Ford GT. If you see what they sell, that was the one investment that got away from me. And like, I don't dwell on the past, but I sure don't forget it. So that's why the Bronco Raptor is like, I'm thinking, we'll see how many they build and all that. Now, the Bronco Raptor and the Ford GT, I'm not comparing them at all. I am just saying there's that, to me, that feeling of a similarity there, that if you don't do the Raptor thing, then are you going to regret it later on? We'll see. But yeah, I would. So we're connected on Instagram. Why don't you send me a picture or two if you don't mind, or send me a message there. I like to see them. One of them has to be white with blue stripes, but There seems to be a lot of those for sale, and then the Heritage Edition, the light blue and orange, there's been a few of those sell, which really go for a high amount, and then the red and white ones. I think white with blue stripes and red with white stripes are the most popular, at least that I see for sale. But yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, your cheapest one is $395, so that's probably one with the most miles on it, and you know. But they're definitely cool engines. I like the V8, the older one, so the V8. It's just a screaming engine right behind your head. I just think the cool factor there. It's sort of like if you had a engine on a dyno in a cubicle at your office, and you just like stress reliever was just rev it up a few times. That would be equivalent to that, but it's just a beast of a vehicle. Yeah, mobile Gulf livery. You're right. Orange with the blue. Yep. So that one is really cool. And if you ever want to see a good movie and haven't seen it, Ford versus Ferrari, that was a really cool movie. You got to see some politics, involved in there, but it was just a really good story. And Carroll Shelby he was a race car builder. He was a genuine genius at building race cars and knowing the team to put together and the vision for it and just cool stuff. So there's your movie pick for the week, even though it's kind of an old one. All right, look, I definitely appreciate everyone staying with me a little bit later tonight. Thanks. I don't have a co-host here, so hopefully I did okay by myself. We do have, I know, one video coming out, and then next Wednesday, I think it might be next Wednesday. Hopefully, you'll see some cool stuff in the branding on our channel and just some new stuff coming. And I think it's going to be great. Don't worry though, Bronco stuff's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere at all. Chicken farmer. He was a chicken farmer. Yeah. Where else did I read something about chickens today in vehicles. Oh, chicken tax. Have you ever heard of that? Look that one up. Chicken tax. That's pretty cool. I was looking on small trucks, right? And it's a tax imposed on imported small trucks into the country. Pretty interesting. So chicken farmer, chicken tax, race cars, trucks, it doesn't matter. I have no idea that the chicken tax thing. I glanced over it and never heard of it. Maybe I've lived in a barn my whole life, but now I have to research and find out what the heck was it. So import duty. There you go. All right, everyone, I'm out. Thank you very much. Andrea, thanks for the super chat. Everyone that's liked the video and subscribed to our channel that hadn't previously, thank you very much, very much. Appreciate you. Whether you're now here watching live or watching on replay, we thank you. We appreciate it. Next week, maybe I'll have a co-host sitting on one side or two, or maybe both. So Gavin's out living his best life, and Alexa is getting ready for state championships in softball, which we're super proud of that. And anyway, hope everyone has a good night. Oh, Christopher Tackett just saw that 3 days left. Don't make it right. Oh, wait a minute. I just saw that 3 lefts don't make a right. Had Dan Short from Phantom Works in Norfolk. I promise, coming up soon, the glare on the screen, I'm going to do something about it. We're going to have to do it here. Yeah, so yeah, Phantom Works is they had a TV show for years. They were 15 minutes from here, so you can drive through the tunnel and be over there. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to talk to him one day. All right, everyone. Mobile, Nick, Christopher, I'm gone in 60. Try to go through these here. Christopher again, Andrea, Tim, Keith. Let's see. I know I'm going to CMod 26. Sorry, I didn't see your comment earlier. Enjoyed the BFG TA KO2s and F-150. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. And sorry, I didn't see that comment earlier. Tim, John, Casey, Iconic Bronco, Tim, Overlanding for Fun, Blueford. Hope you get to go to that concert, by the way. And everyone else that joined us, if I didn't, G. Willikers, 4 High, 4 Low, Brujan. And anyway, thank you all for being here. I do appreciate you. We're out, and watch for that video coming up, and See what you think. All right, everyone. See ya. Bye.